my friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Man Cave. Man, I have been busy. So what else is new? Is that a change? Not really. It's just about everything on par. I don't have a lot to cover today. I just have a couple of very short, quick videos, and then we'll just get right into the comments. Of course, we had our play-along last night, and, you know, apparently there was a lot of static and issues on it, which it just really deflates the whole thing for me. You want it to do well, and you want to do your best job, and I don't know. It's very, you just have no idea how frustrating that is to me. And I think it was the bass pickup that was causing most of it, so we finally got rid of the bass pickup and just put a mic on the bass, which is my preference anyway. I don't like to use pickups at all, really. But anyway, just kind of is what it is. I think the first thing I'll show you is a follow-up on my Polaris Ranger on the solar charging system. You know, I put a solar charger on it over a year ago, and it worked for a very long time. Then it got damaged. Sue drove it into the bottom of the garage door, which not only damaged the solar charger, but damaged the garage door. I had to take that all apart and repair all of that and rebuild all that. Anyway, and it kind of, the solar charger kept limping along after that until just recently, and it just wasn't keeping up anymore. So I bought a new one and put it on, and the new one is a 50 watt, which is pretty powerful, and it works really well. So here's just a brief follow-up video. Thought I'd give you a follow-up here on the solar battery charger I installed, the 50 watt charger. You can see it's still on 100% flashing there. I think you can. And I have had no trouble with this since I put this charger on here. I haven't had to jump start it one time. So that, there's a look at it up there. It's a really nice outfit. I really like it, and it sure beats a $1,200 stator that goes out in no time at all. Yeah, I mean, like if I bought the factory stator and put it in there, there's no guarantee that it would last any length of time at all. So, I mean, it might last a year, might last 5 years. You just don't know when you spend that $1,200 on an old machine like that. That solar charger there cost me less than $100. I can't remember what I paid for it, but less than $100. And it'll probably last at least as long as the stator would have lasted. You know, probably at least that long. Or at least if it goes out, so what? I spend another $100 and, you know, I'm still quite short of $1,200. So, and then this happened. In case you don't believe me when I say it never quits, guess what? This thing threw a belt again, or broke a belt. Now, any of them, I don't care if they're brand new, can break a belt. This belt is probably 20 years old, so, you know, it's time for it to break. So it's the main drive belt that drives those new hydraulic motors that I put in. And when I put those in, I didn't notice any problem with the belt, but you know how that is. Those belts get old over time, and so this broke yesterday. And so I spent this morning finding a belt, and I've got the belt now. I've got this thing jacked up, and I've got to get under there and put a new belt on it. With any luck, we've got the lawnmower fixed. Got the new belt on there. And just as a follow-up report on all the major surgery I did on that thing, you know, I completely replaced both hydraulic drive motors for one for each wheel, put brand new ones on. I put brand new hydraulic pumps on. There's 2 separate pumps, a right and a left, and replaced and made new hoses in certain cases. I didn't replace every hose, but replaced a couple of them. And Sue reports that it's driving as good as ever, maybe even better than ever. I also put some new wheels on the front. It had air wheels on the front, and I put those solid wheels on the front because they were always going flat. The small little wheels you couldn't keep air in them. So I put solid wheels on the front, and that, she says, it rides a little bit rougher, but overall I think it's a better deal. So anyway, that thing's up in pretty good shape now, and that's really all I have to report. So let's go into the comments and see what's going on. David Tharp says, howdy y'all, good time with the play-along last night, even with the crackling static noise, which will we see a video on repairing the bass pickup? I don't think so. Like I said, I'm not even pro pickup at all. You notice I don't have one on my mandolin, and probably never will, of course, have one on my... Now, I guess if I was a pro playing like Sierra Hull and out going every day, and I'd probably have a pickup on it. But, for the kinds of shows that we play, and they're tapering off, we're not playing that many shows, although this coming Saturday evening... Do you see how I transition into that? Wasn't that smooth? This coming Saturday evening, not tomorrow night. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say this coming, since today's Friday and tomorrow's Saturday. A week from this coming Saturday. So let me just say it this way: August 9th, I think it is. Now I better look at the calendar, so I'll probably screw that up too. And by the way, welcome to August. It's August 1st today. This year has flown by so fast. Yeah, so Saturday night, August 9th, we're playing at the Highgate Baptist Church in Highgate, Missouri, which is not far from St. James, Missouri. And I think we play at 6 o'clock. So if anybody's in the area and wants to come and see a live show, we'd love to have you come. Highgate Baptist Church, Saturday evening at 6 o'clock p.m. Let's see. Moving on. Dottie Hillebrand says, fantastic concert last night. My donation's on PayPal. Thank you very much, Dottie. I appreciate it. She's praying for us. Thank you for that, too. Bill Webb says, good afternoon. Back at you. David Tharp says, a farmer walked in his house with a duck under his arm and said, this is the pig I was telling you about. His wife said, that's not a pig, it's a duck. He said, I was talking to the duck. I ain't touching that one. I am not touching that one. I'm sorry I even read it. Ladies, you may proceed to hit your husbands right now. Just go right ahead. Oh my gosh. Bill Rhodes. Good afternoon, Jerry. The concert was fantastic last night. I particularly enjoyed your version of Ralph Stanley, who, One Drop of Water. Well, thank you. I literally didn't know that song at all, and I listened to 2 versions of it. I listened to Ralph himself do it. I listened to a couple of girls doing it. There were 3 little girls, and their version didn't really excite me much, but it was different than Ralph's, and so I just kind of then took that and did my own version of it, and I guess it turned out okay. But I literally had to read every word because I didn't know. I had never even made it all the way through the whole song till we did it last night. Moving on down, looking for the question marks primarily. If you're new here, that's what I do, is I look for the question marks and read those. And usually it's 3 question marks at the beginning of the comment, not at the end. That way I can tell I need to read it. Dottie's praying for the people in Texas, shooting in New York, shooting in Kentucky. Yeah, and what about I think it was in Arkansas, that little park where mother, father, and 2 little girls were just enjoying the park, and some guy came up and stabbed and killed both the mother and the father. And the father was fighting him off, and the mother, I guess, hid the two girls somewhere, and she came back to help, and he killed her too. With a knife. We should ban all knives also. It's horrible. What we should do is take people like that and publicly hang them. I mean, literally take them out in the public square and hang them. Once you see that a few times, it curtails that kind of thing. I don't care what you could say, oh, you're barbaric, you're an idiot, you're crazy. But I also know it works. Somebody sees somebody kicking on the end of a rope and knows that that's going to happen to them, they might think twice about it. And I don't feel sorry for them a bit. They just deserve what they get when they do stuff like that. David Tharp, but we don't do that. See, we're going to catch and release. That's what we're going to do. Oh, he's been rehabilitated. He's a good boy now. Yeah, he's a good boy. David Tharp, I was just minding my own business. Then bang, turns out 1975 was 50 years ago. Boy, isn't that the truth? There's no truer word spoken today. It's just like this year. I can't believe it's August 1st. It seemed like it was just 2 or 3 days ago we went to the new year. It's nuts how fast it goes for me. Thank you for all the songs last night. This is Dottie. Thank you that you sang. Let's see. You have a lot of talented, more than you give yourself credit for. Well, a blind hog, he'll find an acorn every once in a while. Ronald Todd, good afternoon, Jerry and everyone from the West Banks of New Jersey. Eddie Turner, great music last night. The main problem, and I and a few others had, was YouTube ads cut in. Yeah, and that's not good. But on the other hand, I mean, I can't really turn off the ads because I have to turn off the ads for everything. and it's the only way I make my living these days is really, as I have zero retirement now. I have Social Security, but I have zero retirement, nothing. So YouTube is my retirement at this point. So I can't really turn the ads off, but that's just, I don't know. There seems like there ought to be some way with, I don't know. All I could suggest, and of course this is going to cost you money, but if you get YouTube Premium, which is what I have, I'll be honest with you, I pay for YouTube Premium. I think it just went up. It's less than $20 a month. I know that. I don't know what it is exactly. It was $13.99 for a long time, and it may still be that, or it might have just went up. I can't remember. But regardless, it's less than $20 a month, and then you never see any ads. It's really nice. I do have the YouTube Premium. Well, and look at here, the next comment. In order to avoid those annoying ads, you can sign up for YouTube Premium, $18.99 a month. Okay. I don't think I'm paying $18.99. I don't think that's my number. I think I'm paying a little less than that, but I might be. You never know. All that stuff changes all the time. Gino Hitch, hi Jerry and friends. I need to take a class on how to operate my phone. Enjoyed the music last night. Well, my suggestion is find yourself a 13-year-old kid. They can teach you anything you want to know about your phone. That's the truth, man. I'm serious. Like I told you that time, I thought it was really funny. It really was funny, I thought, because, I mean, I knew how to search on an image and stuff. I knew how to do that and how to find stuff on Google and all that. I mean, I'm no dummy on it, but I wasn't efficient at it. I'm struggling trying to find this thing, and my grandson, Trinian, and I'm terrible with how old he is. I'm 10, 11, I don't know. Anyway, he says, let me look at it. And so he grabs the phone, and I swear to you, before I could set down my screwdriver or whatever it was, he's going, it's $59.99. I'm going, how did you find that fast? I mean, like, he found it in less than 15 seconds. They just know how to do that stuff. It's just crazy. They're just born with it. They understand it, from birth, Don Nice. Hey, David, I was wondering if the bass pickup was a Ford or a Chevy. It might have been a Chrysler because it wasn't hitting on all of cylinders. Let's see. Kim Z, I don't remember seeing that name. Kim ZZ77C from Arizona. Well, glad you're here, Kim. Gary Hayes, thanks, Jerry, for doing your song From Where I Stand, and thanks to Gary for the Josephine. Everybody did a great job. Thank you. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, we enjoy it. We have a lot of fun with it. I know we always look like we're serious, but most musicians are kind of like that, especially bluegrass musicians. We're pretty serious about our music. We enjoy it. We do it because we like doing it. It's just difficult to do it and smile and laugh and all that too. David Tharp, truly talented group of musicians. Well, thank you. Let's see. After we went live, David Tharp says, it's a true, though little known fact that cows give more milk when you talk to them. I guess it's a case of it goes in one ear and out the other. Where you come up with this stuff? Bill Mumbo, hi you folks. Great play along. Thank you. Gary Hayes says, Dave Tharp, I watch on my PC. I just hit the skip button for the ads. Does not cost anything. That's cool. Yeah, well, that's true. You there after, 5 seconds or 8 seconds or something, the skip button pops up on your computer. I don't know if it does it on your cell phone or not. By the way, just in case you don't understand this, on a cell phone or on a tablet, I would say unless you have something super high-end and maybe you're going through a Bluetooth speakers with all that, if you're just using the device in your hand, you're never going to hear the bass very well. It's very thin sound. You're not going to hear the same kind of sound as if you put it on large speakers. Like everything's backwards like that. Or even like I have speakers in the corner, little it's backwards. It's really hard to do that. Right there's another speaker, and then right there's another speaker. You can't hardly see it, but we got speakers all over this room. Now we can't have them on while we're playing because it would just feed back. We have them on, but they're so low we can barely hear them. So let's see. In fact, we can't hear them while we're playing. I can sort of hear myself right now out of some of the speakers. I think actually those are speakers coming out of my computer down below. But anyway, just so you know, the handheld little devices or like a little tablet, you'll never hear the bass in the music. Moving on down here, David Tharp says, I was riding a horse, but when he suddenly bucked and turned, I fell off, but my foot got stuck in the stirrup. He kept bucking and running with my foot caught. I've been there. I've done that. I was always able to get my foot out. One of the things that you learn early on when you're learn to ride horses is you just keep the ball of your foot and your toe is all ever goes in the stirrup. You never put your whole foot down in the stirrup. You just never do that. It's just your toe and the ball of your foot that goes in the stirrup. Even if you have the complete open stirrup that goes all the way through, you don't put your foot all the way through. You always just put your toe and the ball of your foot on the stirrup. That way, if you fall off, typically it's just going to fall right out, no problem. I've been everything you can imagine with a horse has happened to me. I can't honestly think of anything that hasn't happened. Like I said, 2 different times I've had them. Well, I've had them rear up and fall over backwards on me. I couldn't even tell you how many times. Probably at least a dozen times, at least that many. And but 2 different times, 2 different stallions. Yeah, it was 2 different stallions reared up, fell over on me, and both of those times we landed in multiflora rosebush. One was when we lived in Town and Country, Missouri, Topping Road. There was a multiflora rosebush right next to the dog pen. The dogs ran out, scared he was a young stallion that I was breaking, and he reared up and fell over backwards right on that rosebush. It was one of them real tangly looking tall bushes, about 4 foot tall. And another time I was riding in our front yard when we lived in Baldwin, and we had a whole line of multiflora rose bushes all the way down the property. It was a border thing, and a young stallion named Sundance reared up and fell over backwards right in that. You'd think one time would be plenty to fall over in multiflora rosebush. Oh, that just does not feel good. Let me tell you, that does not feel good. Let's see. David Tharp, but thank heavens the store man. I should have known better. You got me hook, line, and sinker. You got me. I've heard this joke before too. In fact, we've told it on stage before. Store manager finally came out and unplugged it. It was a quarter horse. Did you get your quarter back? Let's see. But at least I have true life stories to relate to your quarter horse. I've been thrown off the back, kicked in the head, thrown off the front, stepped on my chest. It's just, I'm trying to think of other things that have happened that just unique. I don't know, just pretty much everything. Been thrown off every way you can be thrown off. There's hardly anything you can imagine, off the sides, off the front, off the back. Yeah. Bill Mumbo, Jerry, I never see adverts on other live streams. I watch many. Well, I don't have anything set for that, I can tell you. I'll look at the settings again in case there's something I can do. But David Tharp, did I tell you about a guy I know that was able to escape a grizzly bear attack with only single shot 22 Derringer? His walking partner, he shot the knee, wasn't as lucky. Yeah, all you have to be is faster than the guy you're with, right? That's all you have to do when you're trying to outrun a bear. Just be faster than your partner you're with. Let's see. Eddie Turner, I have an ad blocker, but YouTube won't let me use it. They don't let it even show. Okay. Scott Roberts, I hope you don't mind, but I am going to get Gary's version of Josephine some airtime in Oregon. Great job. Okay. Where would you get it? Just off of YouTube here, like that? Let's see. Don Nice. Jerry, thanks for sharing the band last night. You're welcome. Eddie Turner, he walked right into that one, David. Yeah, I sure did. Ben Boyd, you're just taking advantage of my inability to read is what it is. Anybody else would have been able to read ahead like that, but not me. I have to read one word at a time. So you're just making fun of my disability. That's all you're doing. Let's see. Ben Boyd, what guitar was Gary playing last night? It was one of his Martins. I don't know which specific one. I don't know. I think it was I want to say a D41, but I'm not sure that's right. Let's see. Scott Roberts, maybe horses just don't like you. Well, I don't know if that was the case or not. The truth is, and you can believe what you want again, I truly don't care if you think I'm bragging or what, but the truth is I never liked to ride the normal, gentle horses. That just wasn't my thing. Like I always called them the old deadheads, the ones that any kid could ride or any lady could ride out on a trail, those did not excite me at all. The only things I wanted to ride were the meanest, orneriest horses you had. I don't know. And so because of that, you're gonna get the stuff, Like I told you, the first horse that JR bought was a dapple gray mare. I can't think of what we call her now. But anyway, we bought her about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from our house. It was one of my dad's stock. It was a fox-trotting mare, but she was what they call barn sour. And, anyway, she was a good mare, good stock, good quality horse. But people are, let me try to explain this 2 ways. When a horse is young, you got to teach him a lot of stuff, okay? So there's an opportunity for a horse to give you a lot of trouble when they're young. But then later, after they're broken, everything's perfect, where the problems come in is the people at that point. And the people they're afraid, or they're just not experienced enough or whatever to make the horse do what it's supposed to do. And the one thing a horse will learn quicker than anything, you can try to teach them something good, and it'll take you 1,000 times. And they'll finally get it. But if they want to learn something bad, they'll learn that the first time. They just get that. I don't know how. It's just in their nature somehow. And like, for instance, being what they call barn sour means that when you start away from the barn, the horse decides, nope, I'm not leaving, and turns around and goes back to the barn. And people don't correct that. Well, after a little while of that, the horse now rules the roost. That horse can do whatever it wants. And if you try to ride away from that barn, that horse is going to rear up with you, or it's going to buck, or it's going to do whatever it wants to. And they'll learn that kind of thing just like that. And if you don't know anything about horses, let me tell you for sure, that's a black and white fact. So when we got there to pick up this horse for JR, they go, well, how are you getting it home? You don't have a trailer. And I said, well, I'm going to ride her home. It's only 1.5 miles. She goes, well, you can't do that. I said, why do you mean I can't do that? I said, well, we're buying her as a rider. Well, no, but she'll rear up. She won't go. She won't leave the barn. I said, well, thanks for telling me. So I literally walked straight over I saw a maple tree there, and I cut myself a maple limb about 2 foot long, and it was about as big around as a broom handle. I went right back over to her, got up on her. We started off, we went about 25 feet or maybe 25 yards, I don't know, something like that, not very far. And sure enough, she rears up, man, wham, right between her ears, just straight between her ears as I could hit her. And she went right back down. We went about another 25, 30 yards. She reared up again, popped her right square between her ears again. We went about that far again. She did it one more time. I didn't have any more trouble with her all the way home. But and you might think that's cruel, but a horse will kill you. I mean, a horse will kill you. You can get killed so fast with a horse if you don't know what you're doing, and if you don't make them mind. Well, I didn't have any more trouble with her after that. Let's see. Moving on. Let's see. I must have skipped somebody or something. Scott Roberts says maybe. Okay, I got that one. Then Mike Saba says, Jerry, have you heard of Wyatt Ellis? Oh, yeah, he's incredible. He is one of the great mandolin players. He's only 18 years old. Yeah, he's been going since he was very, very young. Yeah, he's very, very, very good. I'm not even on if on a 1 to 10 scale. He's a 10. I'm about a maybe a 5.5 or 6 by comparison. I mean, and I'm not putting myself down. I'm just trying to explain that's how much difference there is. Let's see. Mike Bennett says, he doesn't have any question mark. He says, I don't know what that image is beside my name. I don't look anything like that. All I see is an M next to it. So I don't see an image other than an M. Let's see. Gary Hayes says to Scott Roberts, Gary Haven does a great job on Josephine, a smart choice for the Oregon folks. Yeah. Yeah, Josephine's a great tune. Bruce Centerwall says, hello from Elk River, Minnesota. Well, hello back to you. Sidecar Bob says, before the crew left for the weekend, they showed me a couple of foundation problems I'll have to deal with before I put the walls back together. Better to find out while things are apart. Yeah, foundation issues are not fun either, especially some of them. Some of them are very difficult to take care of. Scott Roberts says, yes, I record it off of YouTube. Already done that. Now just get it loaded up. Wavy Gravy. They now know that if you're bald in front, you're a great thinker. If you're going bald back, you're a great lover. And if you're bald all over, you just think you're a great lover. Let's see. Scott Roberts had a beautiful Welsh pony once that was barn sour. I was the only one who could control that behavior. You are absolutely correct. Yeah, trust me, I've seen just about everything you can see with a horse. I quit messing with them when I was around 18, 19, somewhere there, because that's when he sold Phantom. And after that point, I quit messing with him. But, you got to understand, I grew up with him. It was an everyday, all day long thing with me as a kid. When I wasn't in school, if I wasn't fishing, which I tried to go fishing as much as I could to get away from all of it, my dad had me working with horses or dogs, one of the two, all the time. So, I know I have already forgot more about horses than I'll ever know about music. Let's see. Sky Roberts, I also use the stick method to correct the problem. Great minds think alike. Yeah, well, seriously, it may sound cruel to a lot of you that don't understand, but a horse's hide is thick. There's hardly anything you can do to a horse that's going to severely hurt them. You know what I'm saying? When you pop them right between the ears like that, yeah, it might sting them for a second, but they quickly forget about it and they just do it again. Like if it was really something they were worried about, they wouldn't be doing it. But once they realize they can't get away with it, then it's all over with. Once they realize they cannot get away with it, then you've won. Now you can take the horse whispering method, which I did with Phantom. Actually, he was so bizarrely hyper that nobody could deal with him. And if you fought with Phantom, he would fight back. He would not give in, and that's what my dad hated, because my dad was big on the fighting back thing. But I learned early on with Phantom, instead of fighting back, he was so smart, you could talk to him. And if you talked to him, and he would just listen to me. I never had any trouble with that horse. He was a big stallion, beautiful stallion, just absolutely the most gorgeous thing you ever saw in your life. I mean, you could be riding through a showground where there was 150, 200 horses. And when you would ride through, just about everybody would stop and just watch you ride through because he was that gorgeous. He was just incredible. And like I could ride him through mares, I could ride him around people, anything, never had any trouble with him. Put my dad on him, World War III. I mean, World War III like instantly. It was just nuts. It was just absolutely nuts. Let's see. G&P Old Marine Shop. Hi, Jerry. Again, listen to Charlie Daniels' Caballo Diablo, the story of a mean horse had eyes like fire glowing in the tin. Maybe you can learn it. Let's see. I'll have to write that down because I've never heard of that one, I don't think. Charlie Daniels, huh? Well, I like Charlie. He's a nice man. I've told you the story several times where he came all the way across the parking lot and shook my hand, said it was nice that you did that opening for us. We appreciate it, Then he went back and signed about 100 autographs. G&P Old Marine Shop, A minor, G, F, E, simple chords. You talking about on that song there, Kabbalah? Okay. Let's see. Charlie has a great storyteller, heavily influenced by Louis L'Amour. Yep. Let's see. David Thorpe, have you clicked the like button yet? Please do. Yeah, and if you would, that is a good thing. Appreciate it. Scott Ripe says, I love horses and goldfish. They are delicious. Yeah, I just want to be clear. I absolutely do not ever hold with being cruel to an animal at all. Making them mind is a different thing. When especially a powerful animal like a horse, if they're going to hurt you or hurt somebody else, I would rather hurt that horse than let it hurt somebody else. Now, hurt it is a strong word. I'm going to make that horse know he can't do whatever it is he's going to do to hurt somebody. Like biting is another example. They'll learn that bad habit, and man, I'll walk up there and I'll make myself as bait when that horse comes. You see, I've got very quick reflexes. When I see those lips pull back and they'll bust them right across the chops, and it only takes 2 or 3 times, and they go, I guess I can't do that anymore. And you can break a bad habit like that very quickly. But I don't hold with being cruel to any animal. Like, for instance, like the people that he got Oliver from. Now, again, I don't know their circumstances, whatever, but Oliver was on his deathbed from neglect mostly, and the fact that they weren't feeding him and they weren't watering him and all that, I don't hold with that. I just would tear those people a brand new what, because I don't hold with that kind of thing at all. And I'm not the guy you want coming to knock on your door about that kind of thing, because I don't have the finesse, patience, or I don't know how to explain it, but I'm going to tell you like I see it, I guess is what I'm saying. And you're not going to like what you hear. Let's see. How about Mr. Ed, LOL? Yeah, that was a good program. Teaching discipline is not cruel. Animals need that. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't do anything that's going to physically really hurt a horse. Like, I'm not going to cut them, or I'm not going to, do anything that's going to leave a lasting, problem or mark or something. But I am definitely not going to let them get away with something that's going to get somebody killed either. Scott Roberts, nope. We are the caretakers for the animals. Yeah. Discipline, that is. Yeah, I don't see, like, putting an animal in a cage and not feeding and watering it. You're not going to like what I got to say about that. I'm Trust me, that's not it. If you're gonna have an animal, you need to take care of it, and that's all there is to it. But that's totally different to me than when they have a super bad habit that's going to hurt somebody. Like even a mean dog that's going to bite somebody and hurt them badly, and that happens. That's not going to happen around me. That dog's going to get fixed one way or the other. Or that dog's going down the road, one or the other, or he'll wind up euthanized if nothing else, because that's not going to happen around me. Let's see. How is JR? As far as I know, and his mother didn't give me an update today, but as far as I know, he's doing okay. I know the surgery supposedly was successful, so I think it's just a few days before he gets his patch off and stuff, and then we'll know more about whether he can actually see well or not, or if it created a problem. Well, guys, I'm going to let that be it. Thank you all so much for being here. We actually have more viewers on the vlog than we had listeners last night on the music. I don't know if that was just poor timing, summertime, or the fact that the static was so bad that people couldn't stand it or something. I don't know what the problem was, or just that they're tired of listening to us. One of those 3 or 4 possibilities, I'm sure. But I guess we'll continue those for now. We just have to see how it goes. It really does deflate me, though, when things aren't going well, and like when we know there's a problem like that. I mean, I want to fix it, but the problem is it's very difficult to fix it because we can't really tell what's causing the problem, Anyway, thank you all. We will see you Monday, if not before. I don't know if I'll get a video out this weekend or not. I'm going to try. If I can, I will. But probably the whole afternoon's going to be taken up with me working on that Ferguson tractor tire. David says the static wasn't that bad. Well, that's good. I didn't listen to the show. I think I was too depressed to listen to it after all the problems. We will see you Monday for sure. Thanks a lot.